Dear beautiful and radiant viewers, welcome to the 30th episode of Art and Dharma, where we talk about the connections or interplay between art and Dharma. My name is Victor Gabriel and I am a lecturer at Sakya Buddha University in Santa Ana, California. You can reach me through my email awake.star.sky@gmail.com. In episode 30, I would like to discuss the womb mandala or matrix mandala, their iconography, their role in Buddhist cosmology, their devotional practices and significance. This episode is a continuation of episode 29. In these two episodes, we will be discussing the two major mandalas found within Shingon Buddhism, a form of Vajrayana Buddhism in Japan. In Shingon Buddhism, the term mandala refers to these two mandalas, the Vajradhatu and the Garbhakosha mandala. In the main halls of Shingon temples, the scrolls of these mandalas are enshrined. As one faces the main shrine, the one on the left is the Vajradhatu mandala and the one on the right is the Garbhakosha mandala. To recap, Venerable Master Kobodaishi distinguished four types of mandala. The Maha Mandala, meaning the great mandala that represents the entire universe. 2. The Samaya Mandala. Samaya again is the Sanskrit word that means vow. Here the Buddha and Bodhisattvas express their respective vows through their hands forming mudras or by holding implements like lotus blossoms, swords, wheels. These implements, as seen in previous episodes, capture and express the essence that is hidden within their specific vows. 3. Dharma Mandala. In Dharma, Sanskrit means teaching or transmission, and here the methods of transmitting the Buddha mind to people are the sutras, mantras, and the names of the Buddhas. The essence of these teachings are contained in various bija or seed mantras. This again refers to the language, words, and written texts that are part of the skillful means by which the enlightened mind is communicated to us, ordinary beings. Karma Mandala. In Sanskrit, karma refers to action, and the mandala refers to the actions of the Buddhas to teach and save people. These four mandalas depict the entire universe of the life force of the Buddhas, and since we cannot easily understand them, the theory of the four mandalas have been drawn as icographic figures. In this episode, we will be discussing the Garbhakosha or womb or matrix mandala. The Garbhakosha mandala can be referred to by another name, that is the Great Compassion Mandala, because it manifests the mind of the Buddha's abundant compassion that continually exists in the universe, and it can be spoken of as the activities of the female side of life. Mahavairochana's Buddha's mind of compassion is manifested in the Garbhakosha Mandala, as well as manifesting in the various Buddhas. Avalokiteshvara, Kidisgarbha, Achala, a great protector, the saint of great joy, Maitreya, Vaishnava, Saraswati, and Mahakala, which are all deities whom we are intimate with, since they bestow upon us compassion and joy. A central current flowing through life is the caring mind that gives birth to many things, nurtures them, and we can speak of these activities as the maternal side of life. Shingon Buddhism takes the 7 chapters of the Mahavairochana Sutra as the foundation sutra for propagation and has spread the belief in it to people. Its fundamental doctrine is explained in the chapter on the stages of mind, the first chapter. In the beginning of that chapter, it says, "How do we become enlightened? It is by knowing our mind as it truly is." Human beings have the complete virtues of Buddha in their own minds, and this mind that bears the virtue of the Buddha is called the mind that aspires to realize enlightenment. This is the first thing that must be understood, the importance of aspiration. The doctrines of Shingon Buddhism and the teachings of Venerable Master Kobodaishi can said to begin and end with aspiration, the aspiration for the realization of enlightenment. This idea is found in all forms of Buddhism. The power of aspiration is important. The Mahavairochana Sutra is a sutra that explains the virtues of Mahavairochana Buddha, who is the source of life, and these virtues of the Buddha are expressed in the letter A, which is pronounced R. This letter A or R is the mind that aspires to be enlightened, and the knowing of one's mind is to know one's aspiration for the realization of enlightenment. Venerable Kobodaishi said, the letter A or R is the mind that aspires to realize enlightenment, the process by which one develops a single drop of aspiration for the realization of enlightenment, and this becomes a Buddha in this body, as explained in the Mahavairochana Sutra in 3 phases. These 3 phases are as follows: making the aspiration for enlightenment the cause. Number 2, making great compassion the foundation of your actions. 3, perfect, skillful means. These phrases indicate the process of becoming a Buddha in this body and also clarify the content of that enlightenment. First of all, raising the aspiration for the realization of enlightenment is the starting point for becoming a Buddha. Next, it says that it needs to be nurtured by taking action only through the Buddha's ample or great compassion. Safeguarded by compassion, we can move towards our objectives in all things. Even the attainment of enlightenment is through the power of the Buddha's great compassion. This means being continually reminded of the Buddha's compassion, being guided by the Buddha's compassion, and by being pervaded by the Buddha's compassion when we think, speak, and act. The third phase speaks of skillful means as the objective of perfection, and skillfully means here refers to the skillful means of benefiting others. These 3 phases explain that we must thoroughly engage in the Bodhisattva practice of contributing to the welfare and benefit of the world until the end of our lives. When we contemplate that our body is our lives, we see that the doctrinal teachings of Shingon Buddhism, from beginning to the end, explain the centrality of the aspiration for the realization of enlightenment and the unity of ourselves with the Buddha. And we come to understand the teachings of non-duality, in which human beings are equal with and not distinct from the Buddha. What the belief in being kind to all life means that we know the dignity of our own lives, and that we can discover our own existence and the realization of enlightenment. we are our own never-ending story. This is a belief that connects us with the life force of the Buddha. These teachings are expressed in the womb or matrix mandala. This mandala is made up of 12 sections or chords, and these are arranged around the central chord. Center chord, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chord 1. The 8-petal chord. Among the deities, Manjushri appears holding a sutra in his right hand and a lotus surmounted with a 5-pronged vajra in the left. Maitreya appears holding a lotus surmounted with a vase in the right hand and displaying the mudra of bestowing fearlessness in the left. Chord 2, the Henchi-in chord. Chord 3, the chord of the Vidyadharas. The central figure is the 6-armed Prajna Paramita, Anya Bonsu, clad in armor. Fudo or Akala may be also appear here. This section is known as the Godain. Chord 4, the lotus chord, also known as the Avalokiteshvara chord. The most esoteric forms of Kanon or Kuan appear here. The 6-armed Nyorin Kuan Yin appears in gold here. Chord 5, the Vajra Muda chord. Chord 6, the Sakya Norai or the historical Buddha chord. 8 Bodhisattvas appear here, as does Akashagarbha Bodhisattva, who is shown to the right of the historical Buddha, holding a fly whisk in the right hand and a green gem atop a lotus in the left. 7. The chord of Ashagarbha. Here Ashagarbha is in the central figure, wearing the 5 wisdom crown, holding a raised sword in the right hand and a lotus surmounted with a jewel in the left. The 2-armed version of Prajna Paramita, Anya Bosatsu, sometimes appears to represent the 10 perfections. Chord 8 is the chord of Manjushri. Manjushri is shown holding a lotus surmounted by a 3-pronged vajra in the left hand. Chord 9 is the chord of wonderful attainment. Chord 10 is the chord of the Earth Treasury Bodhisattva. Chord 11 is the Jogai Shu-in here, and chord 12 is the outer chord. This outer chord is populated by many great deities. Okay. In here are the 12 heavenly deities, the deities of the 28 lunar mansions, and other celestial or star divinities, including the deities of the zodiac's 12 houses, the Big Dipper's 7 stars, the 9 planet deities, etc. The historically adorned Buddha's Pure Land. If a Buddha strives to heighten his religious consciousness to a stage where his actions, words, and thoughts are viewed as one with the body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas, then they have already become a Buddha. The society in which such a devotee lives or practitioner lives now becomes a pure land. They live in a pure land in this world, a pure land that he does not need to die in order to see. A pure land here and now that is not limited to a being in a future state. A pure land is a land which a Buddha lives, and in the Shingon tradition, this pure land can be inhabited by a fully realized devotee, called the historically adorned Buddha's Pure Land. The word Mitsugon refers to this pure land that is decorated or adorned with the three mysteries. The three mysteries are the Vajra body, Vajra speech, and Vajra mind. Such a pure land is brightly shining, and in this land there are no crimes, no fighting, no artificial behavior. There is no anger, no hatred, no envy, no sadness or suffering. It is a world that is filled with peace and happiness. If all beings in this world were to become Buddhas, then such a pleasant pure land would appear before our eyes. In order to help create such an ideal society, we must work to have other people realize the innate Buddhahood at the very same time as we are striving to become Buddhas ourselves. In terms of how we might express this in today's term, we can speak of human development and the actual formation of Buddhahood or personality development, and the actualization of Buddha nature that is already within us as we live in a real world. After practicing religious disciplines for 6 years, Sakya Muni, the historical Buddha, attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya at the age of 35 and was adorned by and was honored as the Buddha, the awakened one. Venerable Master Kobodaishi, having engaged in religious practice in his youth for 10 years, crossed the ocean to Tang Dynasty, China, where he received the esoteric teachings from Master Hui Guo, the seventh patriarch of Vajrayana, Chinese Vajrayana Buddhism. He was 32 years old when he attained the state of becoming a Buddha. Sakya Muni Buddha and Venerable Master Kobodaishi attained enlightenment while living their own lives to the fullest within the center of human affairs. In this way, the original teachings of Buddhism is the one that actually realizing a great compassion and true wisdom of Buddha within an active and vibrant human life. This involves becoming a Buddha in this body by practicing the way of the Buddha while we remain active in our own lives. It gives a powerful explanation about developing into a Buddha who lives in the actual world. It is for this reason that Venerable Master Kobodaishi wrote, the meaning of becoming a Buddha in this body. It's because Shingon Buddhism takes as its basic doctrine the idea of becoming a Buddha in this body. In this work, Venerable Master Kobodaishi says, the 6 symbolic elements interpenetrate without obstruction and are in eternal union. They are not apart from any of the 4 mandalas. Through the practice of the 3 secret empowerments, they manifest immediately. The universal web is what we call this body. all things are naturally endowed with bodhisattva wisdom transcending essential mind. The subsidiary minds, or conventional minds, or limited aspect of minds, and the objects of the senses. Each of the 5 wisdoms is endowed with unlimited wisdom. Since it's the power of the perfect mirror, it is the true enlightened wisdom. This means that each of our individual lives are in non-dual relationship of being with one another and being one with the expansive life of the Buddha, which is called the 6 great elements, with the activities and form of the Buddha, which is called the 4 mandalas, and with the Buddha's body, speech, and mind, which are the 3 mysteries. Venerable Kobodaishi taught this path for becoming a Buddha, saying, by forming mudras with your hands, reciting mantras with your mouth, and dwelling in deep meditation with your mind, you will receive the grace of being in harmony with the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, and quickly attain the enlightenment and become a Buddha. Today, we have talked about the womb or matrix mandala, their iconography, their role in Buddhist cosmology, their devotional practices and significance. If you have liked this episode, please write to me at awake.star.sky@gmail.com. Tell me what you like, what you enjoyed, and what you would like to see more of. You can also submit an artwork that you want me to comment about. Thank you.